In 2007, my mother Elizabeth, my 2-year-old daughter Pollyanna and I were in Mortlake walking towards the bus depot when a bus mounted the pavement and crashed into us all. My mother died instantly, Pollyanna lost her leg below the knee, and I was left very badly injured.
Christopher Hope is Sarah's husband.
It was really hard to process what had happened to us, and I was trying to hold it all together. Pollyanna had lost her leg and Sarah was badly injured. Their mum wasn't here anymore, and it was really, really hard. I read an article for The Telegraph which invited readers to sponsor Sarah to do a half marathon run, and literally thousands of pounds came in as people read about what had happened. In the event we raised around £140,000, and we agreed to take half that and give half that to one charity which we were supporting, and then the new one we use that to found a charity called Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope in memory of Sarah's mum. And since then we've been helping amputee children in the developing world to get legs they wouldn't otherwise get.
Victoria Panton Bacon is a founder of the charity and Sarah's twin sister.
In 2011, I went to Tanzania, where we set up our first project, a limb clinic, off the shores of Lake Victoria. There I met Sharif, the first child we gave a prosthetic leg to. The bottom of his leg was bitten off by a crocodile whilst he was washing his clothes. Child amputees are some of the most vulnerable children in the world, and we give them counselling, physiotherapy and schooling, as well as prosthetic limbs wherever we can.
The Sierra Leone project was set up in 2012, and now Sarah is planning a trip to Freetown to see how it's all going. Professor Timothy Briggs is consultant orthopaedic surgeon at the Royal National Orthopaedic Hospital. He's looked after Pollyanna for several years and explains the care amputee children need.
A lot of them still have quite a lot of growth left in their limbs, and therefore where you do the amputation, you transect the bone, the joint above it and the growth plate above it will still continue to grow. And therefore, as they grow, the bone can grow at a faster rate than the soft tissue and muscle, and therefore the bone can tend to protrude again under the skin, and we have to consider further operations during their growth to actually make sure we give them a better stump by shortening the bone, putting the muscle back around it again, so it gives them a good cushion for the socket when they wear their prosthesis. If you don't get the operation, it means that the amputation prosthesis they have can become very uncomfortable. It can cause pressure sores at the level of the amputation with the bone protruding through the skin, and ultimately the bone will come through the skin and can cause infection and complications such as that.
It's the day before the trip.
I can't wait to see how our project is going and to meet our child amputees. I was last there in 2012, and I'm really hoping to see some improvements in the infrastructure and the way people live.
Sierra Leone is a beautiful country, rich in resources, but its colonial past, corrupt governments, 10-year civil war, and the recent Ebola crisis have left it one of the poorest countries in the world. Life expectancy is 56, and less than 40% of people have access to clean, safe drinking water. 75% of the urban population live in slums. Medical care and schooling is expensive. Life is difficult in Sierra Leone, especially for those with a disability. The amputee children supported by Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope in Sierra Leone are looked after by Anna Vines and her team through the charity Enable the Children. Sarah catches up with Anna at a counselling meeting for the children and their families.
So today we are welcoming our children that have amputations who are under the ALOH project. We're having a support meeting here today at a compound in a central location to our amputees so that they can get here easily with their families. We're going to get together, we're going to have some fun, we're going to hear each other's testimonies, we're going to eat some food, and we're just really excited that we have this opportunity to be able to just support these families in this way and bring them together like they are their own family, and then we can encourage them and just really bring hope to them. And so we're so excited to do that today.
Traditional beliefs are common in Sierra Leone, and those with disabilities are stigmatised. Pastor Jonathan is a counsellor and explains his vital work in the community.
There is this general belief going on here in Sierra Leone about children having disability. Some people believe that their disabilities has to do with witchcraft, evil, curse in the family. So one of the things I do is to meet those stakeholders in those communities, because they are the ones having the keys to their communities. The traditional leaders, of course, I would say they are the worst, because, they are claiming that they have the solution to those kids' situation. They will tell them that you have to bring a goat, you have to bring this, you have to bring that, and at the end of the day, nothing is being done. And they will finally say, well, this child needs to return to the devil world. They will do a kind of ceremony, and the child, sometimes we'll just hear that child is dead.
Pastor Finney works day to day with the amputee children and has formed a strong bond with each of them. Pastor Angel is a talented orthopaedic technician who makes the prosthetics for the child amputees. 7-year-old Mayini Kamara was born with a congenital deformity which required a below-knee amputation. She now needs a new prosthetic leg.
I took the casting, tried to manufacture the prosthesis, which we're going to test today. Then by Friday we're going to do the fitting.
Alimatu Sese was born with a deformity of the arm. The charity pays for schooling to help to give the children a bright future.
They have give me transport fare, buy my school books. They have helped me a lot, and with their help, now my school is going smooth.
Sarah also visits Alimatu at school, where she is excelling.
I love to study because I want to achieve my dreams in the future. I want to become somebody in the future and help the nation.
Less than 40% of children in Sierra Leone attend secondary school. Education is expensive, and disabled children are rarely given the opportunity. Santigi Conte has been under the care of Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope for several years. He was born with a deformity in both legs and required several operations to enable him to use prosthetics.
I've watched him develop, I've watched him go to school, I've watched him get bigger and bigger, and now I'm seeing him doing such wonderful things with his football.
The group try to visit him at home, but find him playing football nearby. Santigi is a huge Liverpool fan, like Sarah's son Barnaby. He wears his prosthetic legs to school, but takes them off for football.
The subject that I like in school is mathematics and science. I want to be a doctor.
Even the rain doesn't stop the game. The group visits Santigi again at home a few days later. The path to his house is steep and rocky, and is a challenge for Santigi to navigate, with or without his prosthetic legs, especially in the rain. Rainfall can be torrential during the rainy season in Sierra Leone, and the infrastructure to harness it and provide clean drinking water and sanitation is inadequate. Rain floods the streets at a moment's notice, making them impassable and dangerous. In August 2017, excessive rainfall, deforestation, and illegal building caused a devastating landslide on the outskirts of Freetown. Almost 1,200 people were killed. Sarah and the team visit a school in sight of the disaster to meet a survivor, 13-year-old Daniel Kamara.
So 2017, accident happened at Salon.
His father had left early that morning and rushed home to find devastation.
He lost his brother.
His wife, son and daughter were killed.
He lost his mama all by the accident, so to be happy.
For more than a week, Daniel was feared dead too. Daniel was badly injured and had to have one leg amputated.
And foot broke, hand broke, so now they get this problem.
The group walks to Daniel's house to meet his stepmother and baby sister Fatima. Daniel's house is ill-suited to his disability, and the whole family sleeps on one mattress. The goats sleep on another. Pastor Finney takes the Hopes to meet Alice Kabu.
I'm Pastor Finney. I'm right in front of Alice Kagbo's house. Their caregiver's name is Mrs. Jane. She takes care of 3 children because Alice was abandoned, and she had had congenital deformities. Her one leg has been amputated.
My name is Alice Kagbo. I am 9 years old.
Mrs. Jane also took in Jeremiah and Hope, who were left orphans in the Ebola crisis.
Alice is now in class 3. She's doing fine, supported by the Elizabeth Legacy of Hope.
Alice is experiencing pain at the end of her leg a few days later. Anna Vines sees her at a weekly clinic at Freetown's Children's Hospital.
So Alice has come to the physio department here today to have a bit of a checkup. We've had a look at her range of movements, just checking that she's doing well. She's got a bit of a hypersensitivity, and it looks like there may be a little abscess there, or a spot or ulcer coming through. She may need to have a rest from using her prosthetic leg, go back onto her crutches, use something like ibuprofen, and we need to monitor it carefully so that it doesn't become anything serious at all.
Taking Alice home, the group visits Pastor Angel's workshop to check progress on Mayini's prosthetic leg.
I'm trying to complete Mayini's processes. I'm going to do. I'm doing the cosmetic work now. I'm going to fix this leather to cover this so as you can only see the color. So we use glue. You look at the color of the patient.
The charity recently bought Pastor Angel a vacuum pump, which helps the prosthetic sockets fit better. On the last day, Sarah meets Pastor Angel at Mayini's school in Lungi.
It's been wonderful to follow little Mayini's journey this week and see her leg being made, and now Mayini walking off to class in it.
Alice, Mayini, now they are working, going to school. And I think I want to say plenty thank you to this group for this timely intervention. Had it not been for them, these children would have been suffered a lot.
Back home, Sarah reflects on the trip.
I have been back for a couple of weeks now, and I have to say I'm very saddened by what I saw in Freetown. Nothing seems to have changed in the last 7 years. The lack of access to clean water and sanitation is even worse than I remembered. And apart from the main highways, the roads are dirt and stone and become dangerous and impassable in the rainy season. I don't know how anyone with mobility issues could get around. Our amputee children are being wonderfully looked after by Anna Vines and her team, but in general, disabled children's lives just don't seem to have got any better. It's such a beautiful country, full of possibilities, but there's so much more to do.